Well, hey there YouTube, Dave Turner here, and in this video we're going to install some Hipshot UltraLite Tuners on my 2003 Schecter Stiletto Studio FL5 fretless bass guitar. Let's get started. Okay, so we're not in the Hobo Depot, and I don't have Hootie, but I do have Mr. Tie Pilot here, and he's hanging out with me in my little downstairs studio, and we're going to get these factory tuners uninstalled, and for that I'm going to use a 15mm closed-in wrench. Here we go. So there's the hardware, the nut and washer. Now I just got to flip it over and take out that little screw that holds it in place. You might be wondering, why am I doing this right now? Well, these tuners are about 18 years old and they're just wore out. Every time I pick this bass up, it is flat. They've slipped a little bit, they've gone out of tune. It's not the strings, it's the tuners. So I got these Hipshot UltraLites. I got them on eBay. They're the South Korean licensed version, so I paid about 20 bucks each. So for a set of 5 for this bass, it was about 100 bucks, and that's in spring of 2021. Really good deal. You can get the Made in America ones, but they're almost double the price. So for my needs, this will work just fine. I have these same tuners installed on my PV Palladium, and I've had no problems at all with them. So let's go ahead and turn this bass over. Oh, my bridge is falling apart too. Well, speaking of bridges, we're going to put a Babix full contact hardware bridge on this bass here in a separate video, and I will link that one of these places. Maybe, I don't know, one up there or there. But yeah, that just fell right off, so that's getting replaced too. Oops. Okay, and I've got a small Phillips for this part. Darn gravity. Now that wasn't so bad. These tuners are made either by Grover or Goto, I can't remember which. And when I got this bass last fall, they were in really sad shape. I had to replace the little nylon washers in 3 or 4 out of the 5 because they were totally gone, and it was just full metal on metal contact. So they were in bad shape when I got it. I did a little repair. They've made it 6 months, but there's so much play and they just don't hold tune, so they're going away. All right. Give that a little wipe down, get it clean. Nothing like a spare sock to do a little bit of cleaning here. Mrs. T won't mind.
Okay.
Now, if you decide to order some Hipshot UltraLites for yourself, and you have a bass that has tuners on either side of the headstock, make sure that you get the right amount for the bass side and the treble side. I've got 3 on the bass side and 2 on the treble side, so make sure you order the right part. Let's do our treble side first. Pop that right in there. I've got my new screw, shiny, and the hole lines up perfectly. Which is really good. Although my screwdriver is leaving much to be desired. So I'm going to stop the camera, go get a better screwdriver because this thing is pretty bad. And we're back. So the screws that came with the Hipshot tuners are actually just slightly larger than the original screws that came out, and because of the extra force that was needed to get it to go in, and that bad screwdriver tip, I actually stripped out the first screw. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to put in the original screws because the hole is already cut for that size, and I'm not going to have to worry about stripping out the head. So got a different screwdriver, putting the original screws back in. Hopefully there won't be any more carnage. The screw hole is just slightly offset from the hole in the new tuner, so it's kind of going in at a bit of an angle. That's part of the problem. It's not an exact fit, but if I were to try to drill that new hole, it would just run into the existing hole and make a giant hole that wouldn't work. So we're just going to put them in slightly cockeyed and call it good. Once that nut is on the front, it's not going anywhere.
Okay, so there's the two on the treble side. Let's load up the ones on the bass side. This one's kind of stiff, that's weird. Hopefully we don't have any other problems with that thing. Here's our screws. Yeah, the screw holes are not quite in the same place. So, still doable. Just, oops, come back. I'll come back to that one. Let's get this one in. That one's already where it wants to be.
Yeah, the original screws are going right in. The ones that came with the Hipshot were really tight. And with that stripped out screwdriver, I just ruined that first one. There we go. And now let's flip it over. Now, I was never a fan of gold hardware on basses until I got my red PV Palladium. And you know, if it had chrome hardware, I think it would look just fine. But there's something about the gold hardware on that bright red stain on the Palladium that just kind of won me over for gold hardware, at least on certain finishes. I've got chrome hardware on my Marcus Miller Squire copy. I've got chrome on my other Fenders. I've got kind of a satin chrome on my Carvin. But man, the gold hardware just really pops on that red on the PV. And then of course on my Dean Jeff Berlin it looks great, and on this Schecter it looks great too. I think with the natural wood tones, that gold really makes it pop a little bit. So, all right, let's get these washers installed. Now these washers are just a tiny bit smaller on the outside diameter than the original washer. So what I think that means is that you'll see a little bit of a ring in the wood where that old bigger washer sat. And that was true on my Palladium bass as well. So as I suspected, there's just a tiny bit of a ring around the new washer where you can see a little impression in the wood where the old washer sat. But once the strings are on, you won't see that, and it really doesn't matter. It's purely cosmetic. Okay, and that's it. So it's about a 5-minute job, and you can see it went right on, no problem. The backside looks great. Open design, not too worried about that. And you can see the difference, slightly different color. These are a painted gold. This is a plated, and the tuning peg itself is just a little bit different in shape. This is slightly more of a Y. This is more flat. So, all right, well, I hope you liked that video, and you can see just how easy it is to upgrade the tuners on your bass guitar. So don't be afraid to give it a try. If you've been thinking about doing it, go ahead and do it. It's a worthwhile upgrade, and it's super simple. Takes simple hand tools in just a few minutes. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you have not already done so. Take care.